God help me, I dragged my nocturnal tuchus out of bed well before dawn to shoot this video. This is how much I do for y'all. Well, it is indeed some ungodly hour of the morning, but though the hour of the day might be bad news for people like me, I do have good news. I have received this wonderful care package from the Nightworms people. Nightworms is a monthly horror book subscription service. Every month they send us one of these black pouches with 2 books in it. And this is the one for September of 2025. As is our way here on this channel, I'm going to open it up, and I have no idea what books are inside, but I will find out while I share with y'all. I will, after the fact, after I see what these books are, put purchase links right down there in the What's It if you happen to be interested in these books for yourself. I will also put down there all kinds of other wonderful information about my projects and just generally useful information you might want to check out. While you're down there, do me a solid and click the thumbs up if you like the video, leave me a comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, share with a friend, all those things that help me grow my audience. That is an ongoing battle, and the evil algorithms never seem to like me very much, so any help I can get is, of course, very much appreciated. But I'm not here to advertise myself, I'm here to talk about these books. So let's get right into it, with the first one being a hardcover book by Catherine Dang, and it's called What Hunger. Interesting sort of cover art with a raspberry. This is neither a book nor an author I'm familiar with, but I will read the description and we'll see what we're actually in for. It says, it's the summer before high school, and Ronnie Nguyen finds herself too young for work, too old for cartoons. Her days are spent in a small backyard, dozing off to trashy magazines on a plastic lawn chair. In stark contrast stands her brother, Tommy, the pride and joy of their immigrant parents, a popular honors student destined to be the first in the family to attend college. The thought of Tommy leaving for school fills Ronnie with dread as she contemplates the quiet house she will be left alone in with her parents. Her parents rarely speak of their past in Vietnam except through the lens of food. The family's meals are a tapestry of cultural memory. Thick spring rolls with slim and meaty nem chua, and steaming bowls of pho thai with thin, delicate slices of blood-red beef. In the aftermath of the war, her parents taught Ronnie and Tommy that meat was a dangerous luxury, a symbol of survival that should never be taken for granted. But when tragedy strikes, Ronnie's world is upended, and her sense of self and her understanding of her family are shattered. A few nights later, at Ronnie's first high school party, a boy crosses the line and she is overtaken by a force larger than herself. This newfound power comes with an insatiable hunger for raw meat, a craving that is both a saving grace and a potential destroyer. What Hunger is a visceral, emotional journey through the bursts and pitfalls of female rage. Ronnie's Vietnamese lineage and her mother's emotional memory play a crucial role in this tender ode to generational trauma and mother-daughter bonding. So it sounds as though this is going to be some sort of a, what would you say, I don't know if it's going to be a werewolf or a Jekyll and Hyde sort of a thing, but either way, from what sounds to be a immigrant feminist perspective, I think, is what it seems to be headed towards. It does sound somewhat interesting. I can't say that this is the sort of a book that necessarily would have caught my attention if I were browsing in the bookstore, but that's why I like getting these packages, because it introduces me to some things that I mightn't otherwise read. And I am curious to figure out which route this book takes. There are a lot of fruitful ways it could go, and I'm curious to see which it does do. So, I know nothing about it. Literally just what I just read to you. I've never heard anything about it, but it sounds intriguing, and I will look forward to giving it a try. That brings us to our paperback book, which is called Issues with Authority by Nadia Bulkin. And the description, again, this is one that I don't know anything about. I've never heard of the book, and I'm not familiar with the author, so I'm really going in blind with both of these books this month. But let's read the description on the back of this one and see what we're in for here. It says, Shirley Jackson Award-nominated author Nadia Bulkin's sophomore collection, Issues with Authority, drenches the reader in a sensory overload of power, belief, and horrifying transformation. So it's a collection of short stories. And then it goes on to say, Cop Car, in which a psychic government fixer discovers her true psychopathic calling. Your Next Best American Girl, in which a beauty pageant contestant succumbs to paranoia as a mysterious skin disease begins eating holes in her body. Sounds delightful. And then Red Skies in the Morning, in which paracontagions infect unsuspecting viewers of certain cursed media, a phenomenon the government is frantically trying to control. And is that in fact all of the stories, or is that just a taste? Table of contents lists just those three. So these are three, it's not so much an anthology or a collection of short stories, but a set of three novella length or perhaps long short stories. They do sound intriguing. I know, as I said, nothing about the author. It's published by Ghoulish Books, and they've put out some good stuff in the past, so I really can't comment too much. It sounds like there may be a sort of thread through these stories. Two of them mention government operations, so there could be a sort of anti-government or conspiracy theory sort of a thread through them, which could be quite productive. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But if it is, it could be interesting. Either way, these do sound like intriguing stories. Well, as I said a minute ago, I am really blind when it comes to both of these books. I know nothing about either of them. At a glance, knowing nothing else, this seems more my cup of tea, but it could go the other way after I've had a chance to read them. I am looking forward to diving into both and to see what ends up working, and I will share my thoughts after I have had a chance to read these. On that topic, I do review all these books once I do have a chance to read them. You never know exactly when it's going to be. It could be this month, it could be next month. Who knows when I actually get around to these books in particular, but every month I make a video in which I review and discuss all the books I read in the previous month. So make sure you stick around, watch all those, and you will get my full reviews of these and other books as I get to them. But we're not quite done yet. There's always this extra little pouch that includes usually a coffee or a tea or some sort of beverage, some bookmarks, some assorted small goodies to go along with these books. So let's see what we've got here. The first one is the bookmark. We've got a bloody hand on this side, and the other side says Nightworm, September 2025. Rage Becomes Her is apparently the theme of this month's package. The next item is another bookmark. This one is an advertising bookmark from Ghoulish Books. It says, Keep San Antonio Ghoulish. That is followed by, this is a cocoa from Moonstruck Company in Portland, Oregon. It says this is Cozy Milk Chocolate Golden Milk Cocoa. It is a cocoa powder mix. It's not cold yet in my region, but it's starting to get there. The autumn is beginning. Cause for celebration, no? But as we move into autumn and then winter, something like a nice hot cocoa will become quite appropriate. So I think I may not partake of that just yet. I might save that for a nice cold evening, but I am looking forward to that. The next item is the little pamphlet that just tells us what all is in the package. There's an ad on the back as well. Next one is a autographed book plate, and I am going to, this looks like a C and a D, so I'm going to assume strongly that this belongs to Catherine Dang in this book, so I'm going to tuck it in that cover. I will always verify the autographs, because sometimes you just can't tell people's handwriting. No judgment, mine's even worse of a squiggle, but I always double check. The next item is a sticker, which says punch like a girl. The next item is a sticker with a skeleton in a witch's hat and a cup of coffee or tea reading a book. And it says, books, coffee, and chill. That is a sentiment with which I wholeheartedly agree. Books, coffee, and chill. Good way to spend a day. And the next, and yes, finally, is another autographed book plate, and this one I see, this does belong to Nadia Balkan, so I was correct in my earlier assumption. Both of these then have autographed book plates. I do always like that. Usually one of them out of these packages does. Occasionally, as is the case this month, both of them do. And for those of us who like to collect autographed books, actually I like to collect books in general, antique books, autographed books, ordinary just plain paperback books, rare books, not rare books. If it's in print, I probably want to add it to my library, but I do have a special fondness for the autographed books, and one of the reasons I like getting this Nightworms package, in addition to discovering some books that I wouldn't necessarily have picked up in the bookstore, is that because they frequently send autographed copies or book plates to turn them into autographed copies, by getting them through the subscription service, I'm getting a little something that I couldn't easily get just ordering off of Amazon or heading down to my local bookstore. That said, I'm still going to head down to my local bookstore anyway. That's a good thing to do, and Amazon is convenient, so I'm still going to order from them, no problem. Speaking of which, there will be purchase links for both of these books down in there in the What's It, in case you're interested in either of them. But I do believe that brings us to the conclusion of another video, does it not? And with that in mind, let me just remind you to like, comment, share, give the thumbs up, subscribe, all those wonderful things. But, as I said earlier at the very beginning, it's some god-awful early hour in the morning. I have a very long day ahead of me. Exciting things are happening at my own publishing house, Polymath Press. So I'm going to go work on all of that. I will get to reading a little bit later. You should do the same. Enjoy a productive day, and then enjoy some nice quality time to read a book. But until next time, I think the most important thing for you to do is to take care and stay scared.